Elisa All is our founder and CEO of a wonderful little company, 30 Second Mobile. Elisa's a serial entrepreneur. She's founded 30 Second Mom and iParenting Media. Her company was named one of the 5 hottest startups in Chicago amongst a multitude of other accolades that she's received. She has a BA in communications from the University of Wisconsin, but she's also one of our own in that she received her master's in journalism here at Northwestern. So, big welcome, Elisa.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Walter. Hi, everybody. I hope I don't mess anything up. Thanks for having me today. I think it's interesting that I'm following Chris because I am a journalist, and it's so fascinating to hear kind of that's the future of where we're going, and I can't disagree, but I like to think that there's still that human touch in journalism, and I'll tell you about my story, which is very, very personal in terms of how I got to where I am today. Let's see, is it this arrow right here? I don't want to mess anything up, or this one? This one? Okay. So 30 Second Mobile, talking about designing an innovative mobile-first media company, but really I'm going to just tell you my story, and hopefully we'll incorporate design as part of it. Really what I am is an entrepreneur, and what that means to me at the core of it all is designing solutions for problems that you find, and finding a niche market, which is what I've been doing since 1996. So it puts me dating myself, but that's when I founded my first company, iParenting Media. So what is 30 Second Mobile, first and foremost? Well, what we're doing is building relationships with consumers, mobile consumers, and the brands that want to reach those consumers by creating what we call snackable content. We use that, we spread our social, or our content through social media. So it's really, I find mobile and social media intimately connected. But what is snackable content? I wonder if this video will play. I don't see it, the player there, but maybe if I go over here, it will. I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Whoop. Got it. It's an example.
You ever taken a video on your iPhone but thought that you're actually taking a still photograph? I've done it a million times, but luckily there's a way that you can capture a still photograph from the video file you took. So take your video file, hit play, hit pause where you want the photo to be. Wait until all the other icons disappear on the screen, just like that. Hold down your home button and quickly snap the top button on your iPhone. The photo then goes to your camera roll.
So it's really simple, but believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that. And so what we're doing is creating 30-second snippets of content that, I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback. Hopefully nobody else is hearing that. That, it's kind of like an aha moment in someone's life. They decide to write a tip about it, either video or written, and then we are sharing that through the power of social media. So we created our first vertical to prove this concept of, quick and easy information on the go. 30 Second Mom is our first vertical that we launched a couple years ago, and we're getting really significant traction. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as well. Let's see if this will advance. Maybe not. So this is 30 Second Mom, and what we do, we've created a team of contributors and who we call influencers, who are 120 strong right now. So we have 120 of these people under contract who all create the content and then share it through the power of their own networks and through our platform as well. So what's great about that is that you get that personal connection with an expert. All these people have an expertise, whether they're a doctor, a nutritionist, fitness professional. They're delivering content based on their own expertise. So in a way, we're eliminating the journalist and going directly to the source and having them create these nuggets of content that people can easily absorb, whether it's a busy mom who's waiting in the school carpool line or at the grocery store in the checkout line for a couple minutes. She can download our app for free, and then she can watch these videos or read them on her phone in 30 seconds or less. So that's the concept. We partner with brands, and we create content for brands to then share with our end consumers and their own consumers as well. And we have 14 different categories. So anything from food, health, pregnancy, relationships, beauty, money, activities, and so on. So far, we have gotten significant traction in the media. Lots of articles have been written and, accolades and whatnot. But what I'm really excited about is our recent deal that we've done with the Chicago Tribune. So every day, you're going to see 30-second mom video tips on the Chicago Tribune. That's the player right there. So people can just watch them over and over, or from one to the next if they want to. And we have other partnerships and collaborations, including a launch sponsorship with US Cellular and collaborations with other media companies. We were at Springboard's Media and Tech Accelerator program last year, which was really exciting. They identified the best and brightest women-owned companies in the country, and we were part of that program last year, and finalists for App of the Year and a few other things. But what I wanted to do was take you guys back in time, talk a little bit about the journey with iParenting as well. And I'm showing you a very scary website from a design perspective. I dug that out and sharing it because it really shows how far we've come. So in 1996, we started a pregnancy website called Pregnancy Today, and it grew very quickly. That was even before the dot-com boom. We were one of the first pregnancy websites out there, armed with my Medill degree, putting great content out on the web, really helped propel our business. And back then, the biggest decision we had to make was, should we invest the extra $10 a month to get a message board on the website? Should we get a domain name? Yeah. So those types of investments we made early on really helped propel the future of the business. So PregnancyToday.com became the iParenting network, and we did spend the extra $10 for the message board. And wouldn't you know, that connected people all over the world, literally, and magic happened. In 1997, 1998, we were watching this community grow and flourish and thrive, and watching expectant mothers around the world talking about their pregnancies, and it was just unbelievable. So talking about the emergence of media and how media has evolved, being on the forefront of that in 96 was just unbelievable. So I'm showing you this just to, we had like off-the-shelf software, building a website, it was crazy. And then this was the next evolution of the site, where iParenting was growing to cover the entire family life cycle, going from preconception through raising teenagers and everything in between. We started doing magazines. Actually had 6 national newsstand magazines at one time on the newsstand, including that one right there, Family Energy. But Pregnancy Magazine, Baby Years, Women's Health and Fitness, a variety of different magazines. And I was actually doing a radio show on The Mix in Chicago and a newspaper column for Sun Times Media. It was crazy. It was like this crazy multimedia world of parenting. And so then fast forwarding again, iParenting became recognized as a best of the web property by all kinds of sources like US News and World Report and the London Times and Newsweek, and started to get significant awareness about it, where other larger media companies started inquiring about the business. We also had an awards program that was rating the best parenting products, and so we were very well known. You'd walk into a Walmart store in St. Louis, I'll never forget that moment, walked in and you see an entire end cap devoted to the iParenting Media award-winning product of Mattel's newest toy. So it was really a significant household name at that point if you were a parent. And so in 2007, iParenting Media was acquired by the Walt Disney Company, and that was really just I can tell you, it was a great moment in my career. Going from being a fast, sort of lean, mean entrepreneurial team and being absorbed by one of the biggest media companies in the world, amazing and shell-shocking and everything that you can think of. So all of a sudden, we were part of this huge corporation, and this is what the site actually looked like at the time when we were acquired. And then we were able to help sort of absorb iParenting into the mothership, the Disney mothership that I call it. And we did relaunch a couple of the sites, Pregnancy Today and Babies Today. We relaunched it underneath the Disney umbrella. They wanted to really focus in on those targets. And what a great experience that was. At the same time, I got to really understand the challenges that big media companies were facing and also their clients. And so while I worked there from 2007 to 2009, that's when I had my next aha moment, which was fantastic. So even back then, the new emerging medium was mobile. And Disney knew it. Disney was worried about it. They knew that they needed to come up with a solution. And so that got me thinking, okay, just like the web in '96 was the next frontier for media, and I sort of jumped into that. I realized that mobile and social media was the next thing. So that gave me the seed of the idea when I left Disney to pursue the idea for 30-second mobile. So as I started processing what is mobile communication, what is social media, how do those two things work together, I kept coming on to the thought of 30 seconds. Nobody has 5 minutes anymore, but we all have 30 seconds. We've been trained by television to absorb an ad in 30 seconds. Why can't we do the same thing for content and make it great content, but just make it quick? So that's where that 30-second brand came from. And obviously the 30-second mom vertical came first because, interestingly, not only was I coming off of my experience in the mom market and having that expertise, but also moms are dominant on mobile and social media. They're on their smartphones 6.1 hours a day. Yes, it's true. And they're very responsive to communications on their mobile device. So that about half of them will respond to a brand message on their mobile. Majority of them are looking and researching blogs before they're making any purchases. So they're very in tune with this new form of media. So I guess the next question is, in my journey, how and why? And how did people ask me all the time, how did you do it? How do you do it? And my answer is always find your niche and be the best at it. So that Northwestern really trains you well for that. At Medill, it was always be the best, don't make mistakes. You know, the Medill F was if you made one tiny grammatical mistake, you flunked. So it's like, oh God, can't do that. So be the best. So we do that at 30-second mobile by having best-in-class expert contributors and content first and foremost. So you know, everybody, like I mentioned before, is an expert in their field. So we're going right to that source to get the content. And then before it's published, an editor is looking at that before publication too. So it's got two screens. We're leveraging the power of social media. And I know all of you hopefully are well aware of the power of social media. But that's really our secret sauce right now, is getting this team in place who are not only savvy experts, but they're also savvy about social media and the distribution of their content. So they all have their own networks that we leverage. And we have a laser focus on our core competency. I think somebody had mentioned about, you know, anyone can purchase a service, but really the core competency is what is quite vital. And so especially from a design perspective, I would say that you know, work at your craft and really hone that core competency. So, and right now at least, we still have a first mover advantage. Not a lot of people are doing snackable content, even though that is defined not by me. It was actually defined by Mashable. They call it short form content that is absorbed quickly on your mobile device. We want to be the leader in snackable content. Yummy. And of course, the proven track record helps. That's helping me move a lot faster this time around. Intellectual property. Anytime you have an idea, lock it down. And especially it's just if it's a domain name, it's a social media handle, it's a YouTube channel, whatever. I would secure that intellectual property as soon as you can. And talking about scale, I get asked a lot of times, you know, about people having business ideas. It's great to have a business idea, but there's a couple things. First, you need to vet it in the marketplace. So what I did back in '96, before I just decided to launch a crazy pregnancy magazine or website, I actually did market research. So I had this idea. I thought it was a great idea, but I wanted to know, did everybody else think it was a good idea? So designed a survey, got about 100 pregnant women to respond, and everyone thought, yes, I would subscribe, or yes, I would go to the website. And so that was my first indicator that I was onto something big. I did the same thing here. I designed a proof of concept website and started the social media presence for 30-Second Mom long before it even launched to really understand, is this something that might have legs? And indeed it did. And we actually went to the marketplace with a paying sponsor, which is a very rare thing to be able to do. So I tell that to any entrepreneur, you know, even if you think you've got the world's greatest idea, make sure that other people are thinking the same way. And then passion makes perfect. That goes without saying. I think that even if, you know, you have some doubts about, or other people give doubts to your idea, if you're passionate about something, you can win people over. There's no doubt about that. On your darkest days as an entrepreneur, your passion will carry you through. I always say too, if anyone's thinking about entrepreneurship, it's not for the faint of heart. It is probably one of the toughest things you can do, but it is well worth it. And if you're passionate about it, it will more than likely succeed in some way. So for 30-second mobile, our plans for expansion is to continue launching compelling 30-second verticals. These are just a couple of examples of what we've got locked down. I mentioned IP. We've got over 200 verticals that we're interested in, but obviously from a business perspective, you will follow where the most demand is from consumers and the business place. But we've already started relationships with a couple of the logos that you see right there, so it's very exciting. And we're doing a couple of really interesting things. We're doing kind of marquee verticals in the life cycle and style categories that you see, but we're also doing custom verticals. So a brand that might be interested in snacks, for example, or a CPG company, we can do custom verticals that might allow them to relate to their customers and better engage through the use of our 30-second model. So to wrap up, I have another video. So why don't I just try my luck again? I don't know. Should I break the system again? This is sort of my wrap-up video that just kind of explains the company in a 30-second nutshell.
30-Second Mobile, a game-changing mobile-first media company delivering the most essential content fast. Our first vertical is 30-Second Mom.
US Cellular was really proud to be an inaugural sponsor, and 30-Second Mom is a perfect innovative solution.
But 30-Second Mom is just the beginning. 30-Second Mobile is poised to launch a game-changing series of verticals. Join us as we become the #1 mobile resource for the consumer and the go-to choice for brands for mobile engagement strategies.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow.